Before Nirvana became the voice of a generation, before Nevermind shook the world, there was Dale Crover, a drummer whose thunderous playing and raw precision helped lay the foundation for what would become grunge. Known primarily for his decades-long work with the Melvins, Crover's brief but crucial connection to Nirvana forever tied him to one of the most important bands in rock history. His life is a story of energy, experimentation, and the kind of influence that transcends fame. Dale Crover was born on October 23, 1967, in Aberdeen, Washington, the same rainy working-class logging town that would later produce Kurt Cobain. Music was his escape from small-town monotony. From a young age, Crover was fascinated by drums, gravitating toward the power and rhythm that defined hard rock and punk. He was self-taught, picking up sticks and playing along to everything from Led Zeppelin and Blackth to Black Flag and The Who. In the early 1980s, the Pacific Northwest was developing its own underground rock scene, blending punk aggression with heavy, sludgy riffs, a sound that would later be called grunge. Crover became part of this movement when he joined the Melvins in 1984. Founded by Buzz Osborne, King Buzzo, in Montesano, Washington, the Melvins were unlike any other band in the region. Their slow, crushing riffs and experimental structures would heavily influence future acts, including Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains. Crover's drumming was central to the Melvins' identity. He had a unique ability to merge precision with chaos. His fills were unpredictable, his timing unorthodox, but everything he played carried immense weight. His performances were not just about keeping time. They were about shaping the sound itself. By the mid-1980s, he was already considered one of the best drummers in the Northwest scene. It was through the Melvins that Crover met Kurt Cobain and Krist Novoselic. The two young musicians were fans of the Melvins and were searching for their own direction. Crover befriended them, often hanging out, sharing music, and jamming together. In 1988, when Cobain and Novoselic needed a drummer to record their first demos under the name Nirvana, Crover stepped in. That recording session, held at a small studio called Reciprocal Recording in Seattle, would become legendary. With producer Jack Endino at the controls, Crover sat behind the kit and helped bring early Nirvana tracks like Floyd the Barber, Paper Cuts, and Downer to life. His heavy, deliberate playing style perfectly complemented Cobain's distorted guitars and anguished vocals. The session resulted in a demo tape that caught the attention of Sub Pop Records and led directly to Nirvana's debut album, Bleach. Crover also played several live shows with Nirvana in 1988, including gigs in Seattle and a short California tour. Though his time as their drummer was brief, his impact was lasting. His playing gave Nirvana's early material a raw, muscular edge that defined their sound before fame and polish entered the picture. When Crover returned to focus on the Melvins, Nirvana would later find Chad Channing and eventually Dave Grohl, but Crover's influence lingered. Meanwhile, Crover continued to push boundaries with the Melvins, helping to pioneer a genre that blurred the lines between punk, metal, and avant-garde rock. Albums like Gluey Porch Treatments and Bullhead became cult classics, influencing not just grunge, but entire generations of experimental musicians. Over the years, Crover's drumming became legendary among fellow musicians for its precision, creativity, and sheer physical power. Even after Nirvana's global success, Cobain and Crover remained close friends. The two would occasionally collaborate and stay in touch until Cobain's tragic death in 1994. Crover has since spoken warmly about his time with Nirvana, often noting how natural the chemistry felt in those early jam sessions. In the decades since, Dale Crover has continued to thrive as one of rock's most respected drummers. He remains an integral member of the Melvins, touring and recording tirelessly, as well as performing with projects like Red Cross and Off. His work ethic, versatility, and dedication have earned him admiration from across the rock world, from underground icons to mainstream legends. While Dale Crover's name might not appear in the same headlines as Kurt Cobain's or Dave Grohl's, his contribution to the DNA of Nirvana and the entire grunge era is undeniable. He was the link between the wild underground of the 1980s and the explosion of the 1990s. His rhythms helped ignite a movement that changed rock music forever. Dale Crover never chased fame. He chased sound. And in doing so, he became one of the most influential drummers of his generation, a musician whose beat still echoes in every distorted chord that came after.